Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time. Are we rolling? Oh, we are. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, guys. The colored pencil class is finally ready. Oh my word, I put the finishing touches on it. Actually, I'm filming this on Friday. I'm putting the finishing touches on it, proofreading all of that stuff today. Oh, guys, I think it's my best class ever. It's definitely the class I've put the most time into and the most thought into, because I wanted to show people how I use colored pencil, but also I wanted there to be enough information and meat in the class that if you just were coming here for colored pencil, you didn't care about mixed media, you'd still get your money's worth. But if you want to use colored pencils like I use colored pencils, which is in a mixed media way, you would also get a bunch of mixed media combinations that you could do. So we've got you know, all the basic techniques and their own individual videos, obviously information about paper and different pencils and different combinations. And then we've got 4 full colored pencil tutorials that are just colored pencil. This is one of them. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite. I think, let me turn down the light there. I just love how that little guy came out. And so we got 4 that are just colored pencil without mixed media, and then we have 6 mixed media tutorials. So you get to try a bunch of different combinations: watercolor with colored pencils, marker with colored pencil. You can use alcohol or water-based. I'll show both. Gouache with colored pencils, soft pastel with colored pencil, oil pastel with colored pencil, just plain watercolor with colored pencil. I mean, and hopefully it inspires people to see, ooh, what else can I use with them, and how else can we combine things. And oh, we even use some crayon. I mean, really, you don't have to have all of that stuff because there are substitutions that can be made. And I do have like kind of the basic list, and then you can kind of go on from there. But this is also a use what you have class. So you don't have to have the same brand of pencils I use. You don't have to have the same paper I use. You don't have to have the same mixed media supplies. You just need to have similar. And I think a lot of us have stuff that we've picked up over the years that we just want to get more use out of. And that's what my goal is for this class, is to help people get more use out of the stuff that they have. And if they need some stuff, you know, like, oh, I need some fixative, or oh, I want to try a softer pencil, oh, I want to try a harder pencil, then there's suggestions. Or I want to try a different paper, or I really like that painting Lindsay did once on blah, 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 I want to try that paper. So I feel like we go deep enough into the topics that people are getting the good information they need to buy the stuff right that is going to appeal to them, but it's not so overwhelming that it's like, where do I start? So I'm really happy with the way it came out. I hope you guys like it. As always, I launch my classes at 50% off so that my true peeps get the best deal. So I will share a discounted link in the video description. If for some reason you don't see the discount, the coupon code is pencil50. All of that is in the video description. I'm not sure when I'm going to end the sale. I had hoped to launch it earlier this month and have the sale go through this month, but I just had some ideas and I wanted to rework some things and I just wanted to get it perfect. So it took a little bit longer, but I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the way it is. So I think I might just run the launch special till mid-month next month, because I don't know if I want the sale going on when I'm out of the country, because I'm just worried that, because with so many active students at once, that's when you'll find like tech support questions and stuff, and I just want to make sure I'm available. The biggest tech support question I get, and if it's ever happened to you, do not feel bad because it happens to a lot of people, is that, and it's really cute actually, people will be really excited to sign up for a class and they'll be typing in their information really quick and they'll have a typo in their email. And so what happens when you sign up for a class with a typo in your email, and you buy it, when you go to log in, you type your email in and your password, it doesn't show up like you exist, and then you hit reset password, but it sends it to like what you originally typed it in as your password. So typo in the email is my #1 tech support issue. Or if you already have an account, but when you're buying a class and you're logging in, you accidentally have a typo in your email, then you go to your classes and you don't see the new one because it was in the typo. It's not a big problem to fix. It's very easy for me to fix it. Once I know, if I'm on my computer, I can just go in and move the class to the right account. But if I don't have my computer, if I'm out and I just have my phone, it's a little bit more tricky to do. So I may end the sale on like the 11th next month, just so it's done before I leave for France. I don't know. We'll see. So if you do, I like the sale to go for a couple of weeks at least, so that if people are waiting for their paycheck or they're saving up, they can get the class at a discount, because it stinks to have to save up and then the class goes up to the regular price. And you know, I want the people that have stood by me and that are always with me and always checking out my new offerings to get the best deal, because for me, that just seems right. That seems like the right way to do business. I don't like it when I'm excited about buying something and I run out and I get it because I've been looking forward to it, and then 2 weeks later it goes on sale. That's not a good feeling, and I don't want anyone to ever feel like that when they're shopping with me, when they're in my tribe. And I do think that my classes are worth full price. I'm charging, the full price of it is $79, so it'll be $39.50 before tax. I mean, we're in America, so we put our prices down and then tax gets added on afterwards. But even though there's a lot more content in this than the typical $79 class that I do, with this economy, I want it to be affordable. I want people to be able to take this class and enjoy it and really feel like they're getting the money's worth, because there's a lot of good stuff in this class. I don't think there's anything that doesn't need to be in here either. I don't think there's like any junk that's throwaway. I think it's all builds on each other. Every lesson builds on the previous lesson. I think that it's all good stuff. I feel like it's the kind of the shortest path to being proficient in colored pencil. And obviously using colored pencil is the way I do it. I know all artists are a little bit different. Like for one thing, I know a lot of color pencil artists that will take a beautiful reference photo and they'll trace the reference photo to have it absolutely accurate. But I love drawing, so I'll find a reference photo or take a reference photo and I'll start sketching from that. I'm like, oh, I want to change this a little bit. I want to change it. I like that adaptability and that versatility to make it exactly the way I want to make it. Plus, I love to draw, so why would I want to cut that part out of the process? But I know not all my students want to draw, and maybe you're coming to this class because you love colored pencil, but you want to use it for techniques in a coloring book or on rubber stamps or something different. You just don't want to draw, or you just want to make sure that your line work is the same line work I'm working with. So I made patterns of all my paintings, but there is a draw with me in every lesson. So you can draw along step by step with me, or you can, kick back and watch me draw and then, transfer the pattern onto your paper if that's your preference. And if you are someone that wants that super duper detailed, pristine line artwork, there's a reference photo for every lesson. So if you would rather print out the reference photo and transfer that and have it, absolutely like the reference photo with all that detail, that's your preference and you can do that. I tend to draw and refine. I tend to start with kind of a looser sketch and draw and refine as I go, because that's how I enjoy doing it, and that's how I get my work to look like me. And we all have our own kind of handwriting when we draw, and it's all a little bit different. And I love seeing that. I love when I teach a class and I see everybody's artwork, and you can tell they were all like working from the same subject, but you see everybody's personalities and traits and style come through, and that's like really exciting to see as a teacher. So, but I also believe that you should be able to learn the way you want to learn, and you should have the resources you need to get what you want to get out of the class. So I think I hit the mark. I really hope I did. I'm really proud of this class, and the links in the video description, and it's 50% off for launch. So if you want to check it out, there you go. I hope to see you in class. If it's not your thing, that's totally fine. But this was I think the hardest class to make, to narrow it down and to just kind of get to the really concentrated bits that were going to get people drawing and painting faster. So that you didn't have to hunt and peck and find all this information in disparate places. You could just get it all in one place and learn what it's all about. So I'm excited. I hope you like it. I also hope you can't hear the water pump going off. One of my daughters came. It's funny, it's been Old Home Week here. My daughter Lila came up from school. She had a few days where there wasn't classes because they're getting ready for finals, and so she came up. And I did a bunch of cooking because she was up here, and so I made this pesto, and I'd seen the Happy Pear on YouTube use, they had Swiss chard, and they pureed the Swiss chard to add with the pesto. And I was like, oh, that looks so good, and it looks so saucy, because usually, I'll make pesto, but it's it's kind of hard to coat everything. And so I didn't have Swiss chard, I didn't have any spinach, but I took green peas and I pureed that and added it to the fresh basil, and That was so good, and it coated everything, and it was so nutritious because you had all those extra vegetables in there. And then I made some sourdough pizza, which, well, because my son and his girlfriend came over for dinner because Lila went over to see Maisie because she's closer to us here for school, and they had main day at UMO, and so they went to that. And but Jack and his girlfriend came over, and so I made sourdough pizza. And I don't think it was my best. They said it was good. I don't know if they were being polite, but it was just kind of a little dense. I don't know. I wasn't that thrilled with how that came out. But it was a nice little break from the factor meals that we've been eating over the past couple of weeks. But it's all good. I can't complain. It's good. I like to just find, I don't know, like different stuff, I guess. And now the water pump just went off because Maisie sent me a text this morning and asked if it was okay if she came and did some recording here this morning. She likes to use the office to record music and do it on the desktop. So she's up there doing that, and she must have ran some water or something because the water pump went off. But there's no water pump or furnace noises in the whole class, the whole colored pencil class. You can rest assured you'll be getting pristine audio. And editing. Ooh. Crazy, not the type of not the type of fly-by-night content I'm running here on my YouTube channel. Goodness, I'm surprised I have a voice. I feel like I've been talking for like the last couple of months nonstop. Whew. Speaking of talking a lot, I had the opportunity to interview, and it's going to be on the podcast tomorrow, Jane Davenport, which was so lovely. She is such a down-to-earth, nice woman, and you never know because they say never meet your idols. Not that I idolize her, but I do look up to her. I think she's a remarkable businesswoman, and I love her artwork. She's wonderful. But you never know, when you're talking to somebody face to face. We've communicated online over the years, but it was so nice to have a nice long conversation with her, and you'll be able to enjoy that tomorrow. We talk about art as a business. We talk about the creative process. It's lovely. It was just a lovely conversation, and I hope you enjoy that. That will be up tomorrow. It's fun because I like to listen back to my podcast when I'm walking the dog, and there'll be bits of conversation that I almost missed the first time being in it because I'm trying to stay composed and, make sure I don't forget what I want to ask next, and also listen and, kind of go off of what they're talking about. But then there's more stuff that I hear when I listen to the podcast back, and I cringe a little bit because it's like, oh, you interrupted that person. Why did you because I definitely have a long ways to go in the podcast interviewing genre. But, I love to have things like that stretches me and that I have to work at and that don't come perfectly natural, that you have to strive to work on goals. I'm goal junkie. But yeah, I think that learning new things is the best thing we can do for ourselves, whether it's an instrument or it's a art form, like visual art form, or it's something new for your career, or it's something physical. Like we talked about the different hobbies. You should have a mind hobby, a art hobby, a physical hobby, a community hobby, so that you get out and you meet people and you do stuff and you grow and you learn. And it keeps our brains active, and we need that. We need that in our lives so much, because otherwise, time's just going to pass, and what will we have to show for it? And I know I mentioned this in Sat Chat before, but in case you missed that episode, there was a study done on nuns that were, working in the convent. They donated their bodies for science research, but they were always active in the community. They were always doing mental work, like transcribing, writing, and learning different languages, and so they kept so active in community and in their mind and their creativity. And when they dissected their brains after death, they saw that some of these nuns actually had visual signs of dementia and Alzheimer's, but you wouldn't have known it to talk with them because what they had, they used and they kept up with. And like what they say, use it or lose it, right? So obviously, I don't think anything's going to prevent any serious disease. I'm not saying that we are responsible for everything. There are some things that are out of our control, but if we can nurture ourselves so that we'll have the best outcome and the best possible chance of having long, healthy lives and happy lives that we enjoy, we should do it. We should do it. Because what's the alternative? Draw, paint, make it part of your life. Make the things that are important to you part of your life. And I think that's a good way to be. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. What do I have on my list anyways? My goodness. So yeah, that's exciting. I interviewed Jane Davenport, and she was absolutely lovely, and I can't wait to share that podcast with you. Oh, so I have a question for you. I want to know if you're interested in this. Oh my gosh. So I am not the best at cleaning up my travel teaching workshop supplies, and I just done a couple workshops. I try to, after every couple of workshops, I clean them up, right? And I don't know when the last time I used it must have been Christmas. And that was it. I did some Christmas workshops, and I guess, you know, it's hectic. Christmas time's hectic. You know, the kids are back from college. There's this coming and going. Plus, you're getting ready for the holiday. And the fall is always the busiest time for my YouTube channel for getting videos out. And I always update my hand painted holiday. And you know, it's just a busy season. It's a busy season. It's a fun season. It's a great season, but it's a busy one. And I did not clean out my travel teaching stuff after the Christmas workshops. And so I got into my travel teaching supplies to teach these workshops at the library, because I don't teach in person all that often. And I had some of my palettes were like fused shut with paint. I dented the lid of one of the tins trying to like pry it open. I had like, it was like this nugget of Payne's Gray that must have been put away wet, because it was rode hard and put away wet. And when I'm trying to open the thing, this taffy. It looked like taffy was being pulled. And that was the first palette I opened, and I was like, oh no, class is starting in a half an hour. I need 10 palettes that work, because that's how many people we can fit in the space, and that was the limit of the class. And so I'm like mad dash cleaning palettes before the students got there. And so I got my good 10, and I got them out there, and I had a little extra time, so I was trying to clean up a few more. And then I repeated that class the next week, because it filled up so quickly. And I'm like, okay, I need to clean these palettes up. So I left my travel teaching tote upstairs in the kitchen, and I've got to take them all out. I've got to take them all apart. I've got to clean them all. And I was just curious, would you like a clean with me palette cleaning video? And you're probably thinking, Lindsay, you're probably thinking, Lindsay, I don't even like to clean my own palettes. Why do I want to watch you clean palettes? Which, fair point. But I find it very entertaining to watch other people clean. I don't know what that is, but I love watching other people clean and organize. So I thought, hey, why not? Maybe you'd be curious as to what's in my travel teaching setup, how I pack it up, how it all fits in my my tote. I don't know what I use. I thought that just might be kind of interesting, and I could talk about why I use the products I do, what I keep, why I have what I have. It might be interesting for anybody that's maybe thinking they might like to volunteer at the library and teach some classes, or maybe they want to teach more professionally or something, and they're just kind of wondering, how would you do that for watercolor? So if you think that would be a good video and you're interested, just let me know in the comments below, and I can set a tripod up in my kitchen and record that. I think it sounds like that's something I would watch personally. Like if somebody else wanted to do that, was doing that, I would be like, oh yeah, get the popcorn, make a big cup of coffee or tea or something. I would be watching that for sure. I don't know what it is about that. I think I like seeing chaos turn to order. I find that very entertaining. But you know what? I actually really love cleaning my studio, and I always record the welcome message and the promo for my classes after I'm done filming them, if they're classes that are going to be on my platform, because I think that it just makes sense, because for one, I know everything I've done, because sometimes you do stuff and you take it out of the class, you decide, yeah, that doesn't work, I'm redoing it. So you don't want to film the welcome video and say, and in our second lesson, we'll be doing this, if you decided, I'm scrapping that plan, I came up with something better. So I always film that last, and I film the promo last. So, and when I'm working on a class, this is like, the only clean spot in this room is like what's right underneath the camera over my table, because I've got stacks of sketches, I've got swatches, I've got stuff everywhere, I've got all these supplies out, I'm kind of weaning it down to what's absolutely essential. And so my ritual is I clean before I film my welcome video and my promotion video. And it's just, I look forward to that because like, oh, I get to, oh, these pencils are so nice. They go back in their little tin, you know, and ooh, this marker goes back in its little spot. This watercolor palette goes, you know, and it's just like it's like I set the world to rights. I set everything into a calm and orderly fashion, and then I can like, and when I'm doing that, it's like I organize my thoughts in my brain. It's like as I'm cleaning my space, I'm cleaning my brain and cleaning my thoughts and really clarifying what I want to say. If I had all this clutter in the background, and you might think this looks cluttered, I think this is happy clutter. I like this. It's comfort clutter. It's interesting to look at. It energizes me. But if I just had a bunch of like boxes and stacks and stuff all over me, I wouldn't be able to clear my thoughts. I would be too distracted by all of the other stuff, you know, that didn't need to be out. So it's kind of nice, and I look forward to it. And before I start a big project like filming a class, I will like deep clean something because I feel like I need to get that order to my soul before I start creating something. It's like before you create, you need to clean it and start fresh and start with a fresh new space. If it's something big like that, if it's something small like, oh, I want to try this thing, this is a great idea, I can do that in the middle of a big old pile of mess. But if it's something that's long and needs to be methodical and really thought out, like something I'm going to sell, right? Because I value your money, I value your pocketbook. I don't want people to spend money on something that isn't going to serve them and isn't going to do what I'm promising it's going to do. So starting with clear intentions, starting with a clear space helps me get those clear intentions. And yeah, I look forward to the cleanup afterwards too, because it's like I'm resetting. And I didn't do my yearly reset. I guess I didn't get, the room before didn't get too bad, but I did make a couple of really big donations of art supplies, one to the library for their art program, their kids' art program. And then I did another big donation recently to a family that had 3 kids that were really into art and kind of starting over. So I wanted to get, so I was able to get a bunch of stuff out so I don't feel like I'm totally, I don't feel like it's total chaos over in the room before, but it definitely probably could use a good going over. But it's nice. I look forward to those little reset times. And then I always forget to take a before picture because it's so nice to see like the before and after. I love watching before and after when I see like people's videos of their like cleaning up a craft room or a kitchen or anything like that. It's nice to see that. It's just satisfying. I always forget to take those pictures and then I've got the outcome, but it's like, oh, I kind of forgot how bad it was. Was it even really bad? Then it's like, did I even do anything? So if I had to offer one piece of advice in the Sat Chat, it's take a before picture before you clean something so you can really feel accomplished when you're done. Oh, what else is on my list? How much time do we have left? We have like 7 minutes. I'm not going to go over this time. I'm going to try not to because I'm all edited out. If I have to put 2 clips together, they'll be the end. Oh, God, one of you recommended me. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at remembering who gives me book recommendations. But one of you recommended The Ferryman by Justin Cronin. And I am loving it. I've been reading that in little scraps of time that I've had. And it's just, it's kind of giving me like Giver vibes. And it's got a little Logan's Run and a little Brave New World sprinkled in there. It's very, it's got some canon sci-fi feels to it, but it's contemporary. I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably about a quarter of the way through, maybe a third of the way through, but I like the writing style. I don't think I've ever read anything by Justin Cronin before. So whoever recommended that book, a spot-on recommendation. I'm really enjoying it, and I was able to get it from my library. How much? This should just be called Ode to the Library. Maybe that's what I'll title this. I don't know. But yeah, I just love our local library. It's not very big, but it's mighty. It's small but mighty. So whenever somebody recommends a book, I will go to my library's, there's a app, you probably, your local library probably has an app that they're kind of partnered with. It may be Overdrive or it might be Libby. Ours is Cloud Library, and so I'll go to Cloud Library and I'll see if they have it. And if they do, I'll add it to a wait list if it's like not available, or I will put a hold on it, or I'll just I think I can like it, or something where I can save it for later. And then if I get around to reading it, I'll check it out and read it. But it wasn't available digitally, so I actually went to the card catalog, my local library's card catalog online, and I was able to request it. And then when I went in to teach my class, he actually had it for me, and I was totally psyched because I think there might have been one person, it might have been checked out at the time I had had requested it. But so if you don't know what your local library has to offer, I encourage you to check it out because because it's such a wonderful free resource. And I think it's very important, especially with the economy the way it is, that we utilize those free resources, because if people don't use a library, what do you think your town is going to cut the next time that they need to save some money in the budget? And you may not think that a library costs the town money. It's free to us to use. I mean, we pay for it with our taxes, but it is not free to run a library. Libraries pay for programming like art classes or cooking classes or clubs, groups, and activities for people in the community to enjoy. They have to pay more for the books that they add to their library. They have to pay a lot for the digital copies because and they don't get to keep it. They have to pay more for the digital copy, and then after it's been borrowed a certain amount of times, then they have to buy it again if they want to keep it in their library. So there's a great expense for local libraries, and if towns see and cities see that their libraries are not being well utilized, that's a very tempting thing for them to cut. So I'm a big proponent of people using their local libraries. For one, it's budget friendly. You can borrow movies, games, puzzles, baking pans sometimes. You may have things to donate, and consider your local library. If you have like cake pans that you maybe used when your kids were little but you're not using them anymore, a lot of times libraries will take those donations. It's called like the Library of Things, and you can borrow stuff like that, which is great, because something you're only going to use once, like a bundt pan or maybe even a crock pot or something like that, it's a wonderful resource. And I think a lot of people don't realize what your local library has to offer. So this has been a public service announcement for your local library. I'm Lindsay Weirich. Thank you for watching. But yeah, I just love my library. I always have. It's small. But it's so handy because it's connected to the elementary school. So when my kids were little, I would just pop in there if I was going to go pick them up, and it's a fun place to volunteer. And they actually pay me to do the programs now, but I volunteered when they were littler, and it's just a good resource. So visit your library, check out a book, see what programs they offer, maybe consider volunteering. And let's keep libraries in and happening. I'm here to make libraries a trend in 2024. I don't know. I just want to see people, making the most of their lives, of their money, and I think that's a great way to do it. And if you want to make the most of your money and you've been interested in taking my colored pencil class, it's 50% off during the launch promotion, and all that information is in the video description. I'll try to remember to put everything else I mentioned in the video description too. Oh, it's been a packed week. It's been a packed month. I am so excited this class is done. I actually feel energized to see it all together now, and I really hope you enjoy it. And I think it's going to meet most people that want to learn colored pencil where they're at, which is something that can be difficult, because some people love to draw, some people don't love to draw, some people want to do mixed media, some people want to do just straight one media, some people are crafters that want to add colored pencil to their crafting, and I really think that that even if you're coming in for one specific thing, you're going to get your money's worth. And you can check out the curriculum list without buying the class if you're curious to see what the lessons are and whatnot. But I really hope to see you in class if you're interested. And otherwise, I'll see you back here on YouTube tomorrow for the podcast. And that's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.